All right, guys. So I've left this on overnight. What I didn't show in one of the last videos was when I got into this thing, I found one of the 6 volt, 3 volt, somewhere around there lines. The fuse was blown, and it was a 3.6 amp fuse. It's a slow blow fuse, and I replaced it with a fuse, and it popped. And I should have thought twice about that. Well, anyway, I pulled all the tubes out, and I made like a makeshift wire fuse. What you do is you get like a couple strands of wire that are small enough to where if something really shorts out, they're going to burn up. And you should wrap that around the old spent fuse, and put it back in there carefully. And I put 2 of my own tubes in here. I've got some old Russian tubes. And they don't really matter because this has the auto bias. And you don't have to put 4 in there, so I just put in these 2 positions. And what do you know, the filament's lit up. But first what I did was I pulled all these. I tested for voltage. And I had all the voltage where it was supposed to be, and it wasn't burning up the wire. So I thought that maybe one of these tubes here was shorted. I put all the 12AX7s, or whatever they want to call them, ECC 83s, in here. Put them back in there. These are actually, they claim that each one of these are different. They call this an A, a B, and a C, but I don't think they're different. You can switch them around. Some people switch them around and say one of them sounds better. One of these is going to be the phase inverter. I think A is your preamp tube. I think B is actually your input patch, or whatever you want to call it, and then that one's your phase inverter. So there isn't actually 3 gain stages in here, but each of these tubes have a mirror image of itself. So there's actually 2 amps in each tube. I don't know how they have it wired up, but anyway, I tried those tubes first, and they didn't pop anything. So I was like, okay. Anyway, sorry, radio's going in the background. I put my 2 tubes in there, fired it up, and played it, and it was sounding fine. I tried one of these tubes at a time with one of my tubes, fine. So then I put all 4 of them in there, and it hasn't blown a fuse. So I don't know what the problem was with it, but it's working. So what I'm trying to do today, I went to the hobby place with the old lady, and we looked at stuff there, and they didn't really have any deals on anything. What I want is like for the Tolex, I want like some contact cement, but it's just kind of prohibitively expensive. I saw some YouTube videos of like people repairing the Tolex on different amps. Like you get like this kind of stuff. This one here uses the same shit. I like this kind better. But anyway, let me turn this down. I prefer that kind of Tolex, kind of like the old PV stuff, but this thing here is pretty bad, and it might. I'm sure I can recover it, but why would I want to do that if I can fix it? So, some of the videos that people are showing is just using glue, so like regular glue, and just tape everything. So I'll probably pull this board out, and I'll try and tape this. I thought this was supposed to be tucked under that trim. I have another one here. This is somebody's homemade cab. Somebody actually made this thing. But there's got to be a source to get this kind of stuff where it's like affordable. This one, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to clean it up, and I'll try and get it as clean as possible. There are some really bad spots on it in places, but we need to fix that, and then I'm going to leave this out for a while. I'm not going to put it back in the case for a while. Actually looks pretty nice outside of the case. So all their amps are kind of like this. Where like this one here, I gotta clean this too. My Tri-Rec. What I do like about this amp is that it's a lot more simple than some of the other amps. Like, I don't know about this one, but this one here has a lot of surface mount components, and there's actually some complicated, like, DSP looking chips in it that I don't like. But so this was, I had one of these from Guitar Center, and I played it for a while. It was real slow to start up, and I just didn't like it. So, you know, Guitar Center is really good about taking stuff back. You know, you have like 30 days or 45 days. So I played it for like a week, and I was just like, no, this isn't going to work for me. The guy at Guitar Center was really cool. His name is John, and he probably doesn't work there anymore, but he used to work at the Phoenix store. And he gave me a set of tubes that they had that were like, I don't know, discontinued or something. But they're GT tubes. He gave me a set of GT tubes, and I tried them in the amp, and it just didn't, whatever it was, there was some other problem. But anyway, so I gave up on that other one, and I took it back. The thing with the bugeras is they either work good or they don't, and they can have problems. Like I bought a Tri-Rec from some dude in Scottsdale, and it had something wrong with it. And I forget what it did. When you would turn it on, it would do something weird. Anyway, he was really cool. I was like, dude, it's got something wrong with it. It's not something I can fix. I don't want to pay to get it fixed. He's like, bring it back. So I did. This one, I had a Boss Katana 2 100. And the Katana's an okay, type of amp. But I had a guy that wanted to trade me straight across, so I was like, hell yeah, I'll trade you for that. So, it's not my favorite amp. My favorite amp is the 6260, and that has EL34s in it. I paid $200 for that amp from a different guy. And he was like a music teacher. He had it. He was moving to Nashville or something to do, actually, I believe of all things, bartending. And he couldn't get rid of it locally. But usually these things are around $200 to $400. So if you buy one like this that I got from the Goodwill for $100 and you fix it, or it just needs a tube or something, then you're doing pretty damn good. But I really didn't need this thing. I'm just like, oh man, I'd already been spending too much money on other stuff. But it's fun troubleshooting things and getting a deal for your money. And so that's why I like stuff like this. Now, there still could be more problems with it. I don't know. Yes, I could electrocute myself cleaning this with a damp baby wipe, but I should be fine. So we're going to clean it up, and I'm going to let it sit on top of this other amp for a while. I've got to order some fuses, and then it should be good to go. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll let you know a little more. I'm not sure which amp this emulates. Maybe a JCM 900 or something. But it's very Britishy kind of sounding. It doesn't have like that. You need a pedal you're not going to chug with this thing. Whereas this one is actually pretty damn high gain. So this one has 2, 3, 4. I can see five tubes. So basically, you can subtract 2 right away. So there's 3 preamp tubes as opposed to this. And I think what they do is they do like the Soldano Slow 100. They cascade them probably. So anyway, this doesn't have enough tubes to cascade, but this thing here, if it really went bad, you could gut it and probably go point-to-point wiring. Some of these other ones are just a little too complicated. But anyway, So yeah, it's got more of a British sound. I think it's modeling the JCM 900. Anyway, leave any comments down below if you know anything about this. If you know where to get the schematic to this, please get a hold of me, because everything on the internet are dead links. I think Bugera sent out a cease and desist. You can get schematics for some of their other amps, but they will not give you the schematics, so it has to be leaked by a service center. And they're basically not really in business anymore, as far as I know. They don't make anything, I don't think. They might make the T5 or something like that, but I don't think they're really in business. Although they're owned by Behringer, I think, so it's hard to say.